Hi, I'm Angie and welcome to your 30-minute Pilates class. Let's get started. I'll get you down on the mat in a back laying position with a neutral spine, knees bent, feet on the mat and hands up above the shoulders. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, slide the heel away, lower the arms. Inhale, bringing it back in. Other side, exhale, slide away. Inhale, bring it back in. So just following the rhythm of the breath, maintaining that neutral spine, just being nice and gentle to get started, warming up through that T-zone, warming up the arms and the shoulders, giving the legs a little bit of a stretch. Exhale, extend. Inhale, bring it back. And we'll go for 2 more. Inhale, bring it back. 1 more. Inhale and resting the hands down. Single leg circle. So we'll keep one foot on the floor, reaching the other leg up overhead and coming into a turnout position. So try and really feel the rotation in the hip socket. Pointing down into the toes, hands down beside you, neutral spine. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, lower that leg away. Don't go too far. And inhale, circle around and back up to the top. So exhale, lower away. Keep those hips nice and still. Inhale, circle around and back up to the top. So the whole time maintaining that turned out position, keeping this stabilizing knee completely still. Make sure it doesn't rock out to the side. No movement through the hips. We want to keep both hip bones pointing directly up to the sky. If you're feeling strong and like you're in complete control, you can start taking slightly bigger circles. But at no point do we want the hips to rock outwards and follow the circle of the leg. We'll go for 1 more in this direction, using the breath to help you, and then pausing up at the top. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, circle down. Inhale, draw straight up through center. Exhale, circle down. Inhale, straight line up through center. Exhale, circle down. Keep it coming. So remember, keep a smaller circle. Stay in control of those hips. You're only going to go a little bit larger with those circles if you can keep completely still. Keep it coming. Keep using your breath to set the pace of the movement. We've got a couple more to go yet. That leg should be feeling nice and warm about now. 1 more circle. Inhale, back up through center and resting down. Straight onto the other side. Reach that leg up, rotate. Feel that turned out position. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, lower the leg down. Inhale, circle around and up to the top. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, circle around and up to the top. Keep it coming. Keep this stabilizing knee nice and still. Don't let it move out. Remember to keep those circles smaller to get started. And then as you start to feel stronger, more in control, you might be able to go slightly larger. Really visualizing that you've got little headlights on those hip bones and they're pointing directly up to the ceiling and shining straight up. Now we don't want those little lights to flicker out to the sides at all. And we've got 1 more circle. Little pause up at the top and reverse. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, circle down. Inhale, straight line up through center. Keep it coming. Exhale, little circle down. Inhale through center. So even if you're starting to get a little bit tired, you might like to make those circles slightly smaller, keeping the upper body nice and still. chin gently tucked in, not over tucked. We're almost there with this set. 3 more to go. Keep that control. As we get fatigued, it's easy to lose our technique. And one last one. Inhale, straight line up through center and resting the foot down. Keeping the hands down beside you, keeping in your neutral spine. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, one leg to tabletop. Inhale, lower down. Other side, exhale, lift. Inhale, lower down. So just releasing that intensity that we had in the legs with our circles. A little bit gentler on the abdominals with this exercise. We should still feel that T-zone working though. Keeping the shoulders pressing down away from the ears. Nice and gentle. Following the rhythm of the breath. Try not to race through it. A couple more of these ones to go. Really finding your control here. One last one. And resting down. Opening the arms out with the palms facing up. Lift the legs up to tabletop and squeeze them together. This is your pendulum. T-zone tight. And inhale, we drop the knees over to one side. Exhale, use the abdominals to lift back to center and other side. Inhale, lower down. And exhale, use the abdominals to lift. So as we go with this one, try not to lower too far each time. Just go an inch or so we can keep our spine nice and neutral and we're not pressing through the arms as we lift the knees back to center. Really focus on the knees squeezing together so we're engaging our inner thighs and trying not to use our quad muscles for this one. Inhale over to the side, exhale center. Keep it coming. As you're feeling stronger, you might like to try and go a little bit further, but make sure you don't arch the back or press through the arms. Keep it nice and smooth. Remember, no beginning, no end. Nice flowing movement. One more time to each side. Last one. And coming back to center. Press those legs down. Moving into our hundreds preparation, taking the hands down beside us, coming into an imprinted spinal position and up onto the toes. Just keep a little bit of a distance between the knees there. Floating the hands up to the top with the palms facing towards the knees. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, gliding ribs towards hips, extending the legs and lowering the arms. Inhale, resting back down. Exhale, lift and extend. Inhale, resting back down. So nice and gentle, just lifting up as high as you can in that curl, really reaching through the fingers, pointing those toes up to the sky. Keep it coming. You also have the option to just lift to tabletop position if it's a little bit much with those extended legs. Just taking the option that suits you best. Reaching through those fingers, curling up nice and high. You've got 2 more reps here. Keep that T-zone switched on. One last one. And resting back down, placing the hands down, feet flat on the floor. Moving into our hundreds. This one we're going to do with our feet on the floor, taking those hands up overhead with the palms facing towards the knees. Imprint that spine. Inhale, T-zone, and exhale, curling ribs to hips. And we're going to hold this curl, starting to pulse through the arms. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in, T-zone tight. Out, really reaching through the fingers. Breathing in. If your neck gets sore, you can take one hand behind the head. Breathing out, and then you would switch over after a few reps. Keep it coming. Inhale. Keep lifting up as high as you can. Exhale. Keep those knees nice and still. Breathing in. Curl up as high as you can. Really reach through the fingers. Breathing out. Make sure we're not poking the chin out. We're up to our last 3 breaths. In. And out. Keep those arms pulsing. Almost there, keep it coming. Final breath. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Resting down. That's our 100, so 100 beats with the arms. Place those palms down beside you, just in a neutral spine for our pelvic curl. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, tucking a pubic bone towards belly button, peeling up one vertebrae at a time, lifting all the way up to the top, making sure we've got one straight line from knees, hips down to the shoulders. So we're on a diagonal line. And then inhale, slowly, one vertebrae at a time, back down onto the floor. Exhale, take that curl. Inhale, lower back down. So making sure that we don't turn our head when we're up in that curl, keeping the T-zone nice and activated. Big squeeze on the glute muscles. They should be working really hard. Focus on your control with this exercise. Controlled, precise movement. Really articulate through the spine. Keeping those palms on the floor but not pressing into them. Try and keep the movement nice and continuous. No beginning, no end. If you need a moment to reset the T-zone each time, you can take that moment before you curl back up. We're getting closer with this one. A few more reps. Keep it coming. Big squeeze on those glute muscles each time. And gently lower back down. Try and keep those knees nice and still. Keep using your breath to help you. Almost there. We've got a couple more of these ones to go. Keep thinking about your T-zone activation. Is it still switched on or has it turned off now? One last one. And resting back down. Rolling over onto the side for our glute work, reaching that bottom arm long. Hand resting down in front, making sure that the feet are back in line with the body. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, squeeze the heels and extend that leg. And then we bring it all back in and resting back down. Pointing through the toes, keeping that top hip nice and stacked. Really reach that leg as long as you can in line with the body. So be careful that it's not pointing out to the front slightly. Keeping the hand lightly resting on the floor. But if you've got good balance and control, you might like to have your hand on your hip so you can focus on keeping that top hip nice and stacked. Going with that nice flowing movement. Using that breath to help you. Is your T-zone still switched on? Keep it coming. Got a couple more reps to go. Really focus on the squeeze of that glute muscle each time. One last one. And straight into our bicycle. So open that knee, extend that leg. You might like to have the hand back resting down. Inhale, bring the knee into the chest. Exhale, flex, pressing out and sweep back in line with the body. Inhale, bring that knee in. Exhale, flex and press out. Being careful with this one not to take that leg too far behind you. Otherwise we start to flex through the lower back and lose that T-zone activation. Keep thinking about the top hip, drawing down towards the bottom hip. Staying nice and stable. Using the breath to set the pace of the movement. It's getting a little bit challenging. Pop a smile on your face, that always helps. We've got a couple more to go. We should be feeling it deep into our bottom in our glute muscle. One more. And resting back down into our straight leg raise. So opening the knee, extend that leg and sweep the leg forward. From here, flex the foot and turn the toes down as much as you can. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, lifting that leg slightly. Inhale, lower, don't rest. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower, don't rest. So the more that you can focus on the foot down towards the floor and the heel leading the way, the more you should feel this one happening deep up into the glute muscle here. It's quite a good burn, so try and stick with it. We've got 3 more reps to go. We are almost there. Keep that T-zone switched on. One last one. And resting back down. Let's lengthen those legs, taking the top leg over, so you can either have the foot here or you can drop the knee all the way down. Flexing the bottom foot, inhale, T-zone. Exhale, take a lift. Inhale, lower, don't rest. Exhale, big lift. Use those inner thigh muscles. Inhale, lower, don't rest. Keep it coming. Lifting up as high as you can each time. If you do find it hurts a little bit on your hip bone, you can always fold up a towel and place that underneath the hip or double your mat over. Just give yourself a little bit more support. Keeping it coming. Still thinking about that T-zone activation. Few more to go. Lifting the foot up as high as you can. Don't give in just yet. We've got 2 more to go. 1 more. And we can rest down. Stacking those feet together now. Taking the top hand to the hip, or if you find the balance a bit tricky, you can rest the hand back down here. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, lifting just the bottom half. Inhale, lower back down. So really tricky with those wobbles there. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower down. Use the T-zone activation to help you stabilize. Try and keep that top hip stacked. So we don't want to make any sort of banana shapes with the legs. Feet aren't really pointed or flexed here. Just relax, just nice and comfortable. Focusing more on the work of the inner thighs to lift the legs up and down. Still thinking about that T-zone. Is it still switched on? Remember your option. If it's getting tough, you can rest the hand back down. Give yourself just that little bit more support. And we've got 1 more big lift. And resting back down. Let's flip over to the other side. Into our clam pose, feet tucked underneath, T-zone switched on. We open the knee and reach that leg long for our kick out. Touch the toes and close it down. So inhale, open, exhale, extend, inhale, close, exhale, lower. Keep it coming. Focus on that T-zone activation. The top top hip drawing down towards the bottom hip. Keeping it nice and smooth. If you're nice and stable here, you're welcome to pop your hand on the bottom and feel the squeeze of that glute muscle working. Really focusing that mind to body connection. Thinking about where that leg is going. Keeping it nice and smooth. And we'll go for one more here. Close it down and straight into our bicycles. T-zone switched on. Inhale, bring the knee in. Exhale, flex, extend out and sweep back in line with the body. Inhale, bring that knee in. Exhale, flex and press away. So we should be feeling this one into our glute muscle here. Try and keep that same height off the floor the whole way through. And make sure we don't sweep the leg too far back. Otherwise we'll arch the spine and lose the T-zone connection. Keep it coming. Keep breathing. If it's getting tough, pop a little smile on your face. Thinking about that top hip drawing down to the bottom hip. You've got this. We've got 2 more to go. One more. And let's rest down. Lifting that leg straight up, sweep it forward, flex the foot, turn the toes down. We've got straight leg raise. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, leading with the heel. Inhale, close it down. So this one, it's not about how high you can take the leg. It's much better to have a smaller range of movement. Thinking about the top hip drawing down towards the bottom hip and the T-zone switched on. We should be feeling this one quite deep up into our glute muscle now. It's a big one. We're not here for too much more. Keep it coming. Keep using that breath. We're almost there. 2 to go. One more. And resting down. Well done. Let's take that top leg over. Extending that bottom leg. Inner thigh. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, take a big lift. Inhale, resting down. Exhale, lift as high as you can. Inhale, lower down. That's it. Feel that big squeeze through the inner thigh. Keep it coming. A few more to go. This is coming up to our final set for the glutes. Got 2 more here. And 1 more. And resting down. Let's stack those feet together for the double leg lift. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, lifting just the legs. Inhale, lower down. So if you're good with your balance, you're welcome to take that hand and place it onto the top leg. Really find your control here. That's it. Keep it coming, keep breathing. Pop that smile on your face if it's getting challenging. We've got 3 more to go. 2 more. And your final one. And resting down. Well done. Let's take a seat up into a kneeling position now. So we're sitting back down onto the heels, just sitting up nice and tall. From here, sending those hands up overhead. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, draw those elbows down behind the line of the body. Inhale, sending them up to the top. So here we're focusing on those shoulder blades activating, drawing down and back to move the arms down, and then they rotate back up as the hands come back up to the sky. So I'm keeping my chest stacked on top of my hips. I'm not popping my chest out in order to get the elbows behind the line of the body. Really focusing on that work here as we're drawing down and back. So I'll get you to keep coming. Feeling like you're working with a little bit of resistance here. We'll go for 2 more. Still thinking about your T-zone, is it switched on? Let's go for 1 more. Lifting up to the top, and let's rest down. Over onto all fours for our tricep circles. Hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. From here, switch that T-zone on. Inhale, we bend the elbows back towards the thighs. Exhale, brush the nose along the floor and press up to the top. Inhale, bend those elbows back to the thighs. Exhale, brush along and up to the top. So while we're just starting with these ones, we can keep them nice and small, just a soft little bend. Make sure we're in control the whole way through. If you're feeling like you've got the hang of it, you've got a bit of strength through the triceps, you might be able to go a little bit deeper down. So I'll let you have a play around with that, finding the right depth of the movement for your capabilities. We'll go for 2 more, trying to make the movement nice and continuous, trying not to race through any point of the movement, keeping that T-zone switched on. Inhale, bend down. Exhale, brush that nose along. Let's finish off with 1 more. And we'll stay in that 4-point kneeling, keeping the hands underneath the shoulders. Take your knees behind the line of the hips and drop those hips down. Now just be mindful of your head position here. Don't let it dip heavily down to the mat. Just keep it up in line with the spine. Inhale, T-zone. Now if you're just building your plank strength for the first time, I'll get you to stay here. If you feel like you can go into your full plank, you can exhale, tuck the toes and lift up, feeling the weight evenly between the fingers and the heel of the hands. If you feel like you need any moment here to reset, you can just pop the knees down briefly. Keeping the T-zone active to support the lower back. We won't hold it for too long. Just keep breathing, making sure we're not sagging the chest through. 4, 3, 2, final count, and drop those knees down. We'll sit back into a kneeling position, give ourselves a little stretch, taking our trap stretch first, holding onto one side of the face, pressing the hand away. Need a little bit of a variation. You can turn the chin gently in towards the armpit. And then we'll release over to the other side. Press away. And taking that little turn into the armpit for that variation. And release, have a little shake side to side. Taking one hand back behind the head, drawing the elbow in, just keeping the ribs stacked on top of the hips. And switching over to the other side. Sitting back onto the bottom, we'll just stay seated for our glute stretch here, so taking one leg across the top. Now for you, you might feel that stretch quite enough here. If you need more, you can actually slide the bottom in towards the heel, walking those hands in as much as you like, sitting up nice and tall. If you need a little bit more, if you're a bit more of a flexy person, you can actually use a hand and draw your chest in towards that leg. And gently easing back out of it, switching over to the other leg, taking the option that suits you best, remembering that you might be different between your sides. Quite often we're a little bit more flexible in one side than the other. So just listening to what your body needs. And you can release. That brings us to the end of Pilates. Thank you for joining me.